Good evening, PA Figs here. So this is my wife's favorite fig. This is Ronde de Bordeaux, or commonly referred to as RDB. Ronde de Bordeaux we got 2 years ago. This is one of the trees that I have that's smaller in a 5-gallon sip. And then we also have one in a half of a 55-gallon barrel that is significantly larger. This one came from California and it's been less healthy, and you can see it's really not the healthiest tree now. I've been fertilizing the heck out of it and it's doing a little bit better, but it's just really struggled the last couple of years, hence the small size of it. The other one's a bit of a monster. This one I warmed up in the greenhouse for about a month and a half this spring, so it's quite a bit further ahead than the one that I have in the half of the 55-gallon sip there. So let's go ahead and pick one of these. It's a very productive tree, and it puts out a lot of figs. They ripen pretty quickly, and they're an extremely pretty fig. And like I said, my wife just loves them. I think they're good. I still prefer the Black Madeira or the Pareto or a Green Ashia, but she really enjoys them. For me, they need to be really, really ripe to have a lot of flavor. She likes them at all stages. This one's pretty ripe. I'd actually let it go a little bit longer, but with our vacation coming up, I wanted to pick a few of them. So let's check this out. Alright, so here's the Ronde de Bordeaux. Here's the leaf pattern. Extended finger in the center, two on the sides, somewhat extended, and small cankles. All of the leaves are pretty similar. Lengths can be a little bit different, but shape is generally along those lines. Fig is a beautiful fig usually. It exhibits quite a bit of cracking in the skin, and it usually has a rounder, plumper shape. Instead of being elongated, it tends to actually be somewhat squat. The one thing I did want to show with this fig is actually the sun damage. So I took it straight out of the greenhouse in the spring, thinking the greenhouse would have adjusted it to the sun, and I was wrong. A lot of my figs, the leaves and the figs, got sunburn on them, and it'll make the skin a little bit tougher, but it's still definitely an edible fig. I mean, just look at that beautiful cracking on it. Alright, so quick picture. And let's cut this guy open. The insides of these figs are pretty too. They have, I don't know how to explain it, like a pattern almost, where everything seems to be aligned and parallel to each other, and the little white pieces along with the seeds are just spread, perfectly, and just a beautiful picture of a fig. It's really hard to beat that. But the most important thing, let's see how it tastes. Pretty good. It doesn't have that sweet flavor. It's more of what I usually refer to as a kind of a wine flavor, that deeper, mellower flavor. Has a nice seed crunch to it. Definitely could have used some more time. I like these to be really ripe. There's certain figs that I like before they get wrinkly, and there's certain figs that I like once they're wrinkly. Ronde de Bordeaux is one of the types that I like when it gets really wrinkly, really jammy inside, really thick. I feel like they get their best flavor at that point. But this is Ronde de Bordeaux. It's a fig worth having. It produces a large crop early on, and it ripens extremely quickly. So for those of us with short seasons, it comes in handy. I mean, today is July 25th, and I think I had this out into the greenhouse in the beginning of April. So you're talking what? You're talking April, May, June, 3.5 months for this to ripen. It's not too bad. And that was, not to ripen, I should say, to come out of dormancy and ripen. So a very early fig with good flavor and produces a lot of figs. That little tree there probably has at least 30, 40 figs on it. So it's a definite must-have in the fig world. If you're just getting into it, this along with Negroni or Violet de Bordeaux are two of the ones that I recommend for the first time figure, if you will. Alright, I hope you enjoyed. This is PA Figs.